Hello, friends and neighbors. Well, this may be our last transmission of the week due to storms coming. We have ice. I think it starts tonight. Going to be tomorrow, snow and ice. Hey, 2-4. Yeah, I'm not talking about something you're not familiar with. Hey, the like button there. Good. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Uh, 2-4. I'm talking to a veteran when I talk to you about snow and ice. Yeah, buddy. We this thing is coming. It looked like it's hell bent for leather to make it all the way into the deep south. We're all ready for it. Is my mic loud? Can you hear me? Okay. Uh, I'm not on StreamYard. I'm on YouTube, and they really cut you down sometimes. Let me catch up on the weather here. Let me see. I was going to try to bring the weather up. Oh, audio. Let me see. I'm hoping to. Well, I think YouTube only lets you have. I think it's probably on 720. I don't know. The camera will go higher than that, but I don't know. Hey, Toga, there. My gosh, we don't get a chance to talk regular. When we're on the coffee crew in the mornings, it's a different time of day for you. You're in an entirely different time zone by many times. It is going good, Toga. We've got a impending. See, it's already getting up into the category of snow weather. 39 degrees. Let me get it up here. There we there you go. 39 degrees Fahrenheit. Um, from this point on, we can start getting snow. 5:30 in the morning. Oh my God. You truly are a legend. you, uh, you're that mystery guy out there in the world. Where in the world is Toga? Yeah, this weather thing is it's going to be serious. Let me see how far. Tomorrow we're only going to have a high of, oh, it's going to be. We've got low temperatures of 19, 14, 22. 10, my God, it goes all the way down to 9 degrees. Anyhow, we're not going to ruin anybody's evening by talking about things we have no control over. Minus 11. Oh my goodness, sir. Well, we got it coming. We're going to be down, supposedly down to 9. Minus 16 Celsius. So, um, see if I remember right, 32 Celsius is, let me see, 0 is 32 Celsius. No, I don't seem right. I don't know. Don't seem like I'm in probably the right resolution. I uh, I don't have anything I can push here to make sure I've got the proper resolution. Let me see. You don't have okay. I don't have access to that. YouTube don't let you have a whole lot of things. Let me see. Nope, nope, that ain't it. Let me see if we have a. Nope. Okay, that ain't it. Trying to find a way to make the quality of the picture a little bit better. Kind of looks like to me it's not as clean as it should be. I mean, it's not fuzzy, but it's kind of washed out. Well, let me see. Let me try this. I'll do this right here. Well, that is not as washed. Well, the top of my head's washed out, but hell, I look like a damn Q-tip as it is. I give a little bit more contrast by turning the front light off there. I got one of them ring lights over there, but I don't use it. It it's always constantly in your face. I just never like that. A cinema. Gabby Hayes. You remember in the old Western days? Hey, I'm gonna tell you, we getting some fine folks in here. HAW. Hiya, baby. Hiya, babe. Uh, we're getting some fine folks in here. Yeah, I looked around. I didn't see anybody else on right now, so I thought I'd go. I'd go live and maybe get in contact with some of my peeps. You know, I have relatives on the West Coast, and they always saying to me, "Oh, Mac, you're on at the wrong time." So right now it's 8:30 here. It's only 6:30 in Washington State. So they should be still up at 6:30 in the evening. I stay up long hours. I get up really early in the morning and go to bed really late at night. I've always kind of felt like sleeping was a really big waste of time for me. I like it. I used to watch a channel years ago, and the cameras, she had like 5 or 6 cameras in the chicken house, and, you could see them laying eggs and them clucking and the little babies when they'd hatched their eggs, and I can't even remember, it seemed like it was out of New Hampshire or somewhere up there, and I really enjoyed it. Every day I'd go check in on the chicken farm and see how they was doing. I met a new person today, um she liked some of the stuff that I do, and she sent me a comment, so I subscribed to her and went over tonight. She was doing a live, and what a delightful human being. Shelly is her name. There was Rhodey; he was on there with me, and there's quite a few people in there. Um, Big Polynesian woman, good-looking Polynesian woman, U.S. military. Um, yeah, but the chickens, when we was on the farm, we had so much fun with our chickens. I used to sometimes I'd have maybe 8 or 10 chickens hypnotized. A chicken is real easy to hypnotize. I'm talking about they will not move a muscle, and they'll sit there till their little legs get tired, and when they fall over, they get up and run off clucking. And but we used to have sometimes on a 2 by 4, you turn a 2 by 4 up on its edge, and in the middle of the 2 by 4, while it's on its edge, you draw a straight black line down the 2 by 4, and you take a good old hen, a chicken. A rooster is a little bit harder to do than a chicken, but take a chicken and just take its head and put the beak right on that black line. And when you see the two eyes focus on that black line, just move your hands away, and that chicken will not move until they will be so fixed on that black line that eventually they'll get tired and squat down, and sometimes they'll fall off the 2 by 4. but but we used to play with the chickens, and we loved our chickens. I've told this story before, but one time in 1951, the year was 1951, we had a tornado to come in, and back in our days, we didn't have TVs in 1951, and we only had battery-powered radios because where we lived, we didn't have electricity. We didn't get electricity until 1952. It was the first power in the house. We had to use everything had to be battery-powered, and so we didn't know that the storm was coming, and the word got out that the storm was coming, and they come up the holler where we lived, letting everybody know to get ready for the big storm. Did I see brown chicken? Yeah, brown chicken's in here. You mentioned chicken, and here comes the brown chicken. But we're well represented with chicken when we got brown chicken in here. Anyhow, the town crier, I guess we'd call him, come up through there telling everybody, better go get your storm pit ready. A big tornado's coming. So, of course, our job as little boys, at that time I was 11 years old, and so we had to go into the storm cellar and take our carbide lamps and kill spiders. You take the carbide lamp and you'd singe the spider, make him run the spider away from you. Hey, so loud. Did I miss anybody else over there? Good seeing you guys and girls. Um, so we have to run down into the storm pit, and the raging storm come by, and it was bad. And when we come out, it was pitch black dark, and so we just go back into the house. Next morning, my mother come in there, get up, and we went outside, and the chickens up in the chicken pen. The tornado blew all the chickens against the chicken wire, and the wind pulled all the feathers out of the back. I mean, it stripped them poor chickens bare. And so my mama fixed up some mercurochrome, I guess you call it, and with some baby oil, and I had to go up and oil the chickens down. I, yeah, I had to go oil the chickens. She made a kind of a homemade suntan lotion, and every day I'd have to go up there and take a cloth and rub the back of the chickens. Oh, they didn't mind it. Stuff didn't burn them, but their skin was so tender. But pretty soon, little feathers started coming back. We saved all the chickens. Did I miss Desert Outlaw? Oh, hey, Desert Outlaw. Hey, good seeing you here. Hey, buddy, we did have an issue last year with my hearing. Uh, I um, I blew my eardrum out. I do a lot of shooting, but my eardrum. was blowed out from sneezing. And hey, Carney, my gosh, we got us an evening coffee crew. Yeah, this is the last cup for the day. Um, I had to have some surgery in my ear, and that was kind of set me back a little bit because I love music, and with just one good ear, it was hard to. And I was at that time I was in the middle of writing all these different songs and stuff, and then when I'd play them back, they didn't have as good a sound. Yeah, we start your day off with a live broadcast there, Toga. The first for the day, and I'm sure there'll be many to follow during throughout the day. Well, Carney, are you getting? Is the ice starting to? Is it going to get down that far? Ours going to start in tonight. We're already in the 30s, and it's going to tomorrow. I mean, I think the highs we're going to have is 42, and the rest of the week, all the way to next Thursday, we're not hardly going to get above freezing. Seven is minus 17. My gosh. In fact, this morning, I think you had low temperature this morning, brown chicken, when I was sitting over at the vet's office. Well, you're warmer than I am, Carnea. Yeah, I believe, yeah, we're 30, 38 degrees. It's coming. I started to make sure that's not a 30 degree. It's coming on down. Um, but this is the beginning of it for us. We get this every year. You get these Arctic blasts coming in, comes right down the Mississippi Valley and cross the Tennessee River. And here, then we're going to be into a storm for a nice storm. I think they said we're in the 1 to 3 inch snow now. They was saying 4 inches, but now it's 1 to 3 inches. I'm gonna go out and play on the Harley. I am. I did it last year. We had a 3 or 4 inch snow last year, and but unfortunately, when I went out there to do my Harley ride, one of my batteries didn't have a charge in it. I thought I had charged it, but I picked up the wrong battery, and it was sitting there on the tripod recording me riding out in the snow. But unfortunately, it didn't get anything because about 1 minute after I started it, it stopped because it ran out of battery. But we're going to have like three cameras doing a three camera shot when we're riding this time. Tullahoma, Tennessee. Oh, they're up in the cold country. Tennessee's colder than hell. Hey, Mike, how you doing, buddy? We thought we'd just get on here this evening. I used to like to get on Friday evenings, and because a lot of the folks from Australia that we were friendly with or were friends of, we had opportunity to talk with them. Let me turn this back on my show. Oh man, that really widens that up. Check it out here, Mike. You might have some of your military buddies. You might remember this. This is one of the best knives you can have in the house. Sharp as can be, never gets dull. I can shave it. I wouldn't do it, but it'll cut the hair off your arms. Um, I had a gentleman that give it to me. He was getting some time on him, roll tide, and so he wanted to pass it on. I had a big military family. All my kids, I had all them boys. At one time when I was working for this company right here, um, they put me in the newspaper because I had 5 of my children in war at one time. Yeah, I was supplying soldiers. I done my part for America, man. Uh, yeah, 3 of them got full retirement. Well, one got blowed up when he was 19 years, so got his foot blowed up in Fallujah. But hey, that was then. This is now. We're going to try to keep this a happy, happy channel if we can. Yeah, roll tide. I had to, when I made a little. I think I wrote a song about Bama losing the Rose Bowl. And here's a lot of something a lot of people didn't know. Bama went to the Rose Bowl many, many, many times over back when Barron, back in them days, Alabama was expected to go to Rose Bowl every year, and they didn't let nobody down. But look at Indiana, the dark horse. That's one of them deals like on any given day they can rise to the top. And well, look at Oregon came down here. The Oregon Ducks came here and played Alabama and beat Alabama. I go, oh my God! I thought the world had come to an end. The Oregon Ducks. They had that pretty little uniforms on. So you can't rule out any school, man. They can get it together and make it work. Well, let me tell you how hardcore Alabama is. I bought a GMC pickup truck. It was a new GMC pickup truck. And the dealer up there where I bought my pickup truck, see, Alabama doesn't have a front license plate. The dealer up at, Mike knows where the GM dealership is. They put a Auburn license plate on the front. And so old Mac likes to bar hop a little bit, or used to. I mean, I don't do that now. But back in them days, I did. That was a few years ago. I went to a place called Forestdale, Alabama, at a bar that I like. It was a sports bar. And so I met some friends up there. So we was over there, big round table. The pitchers of beer was flowing, and a big announcement came over the speaker. It said, "The person with the two-tone GMC with a license plate of N7DRR." I'm N4 DRR now, but then I was N7. "Would you please come up to the front?" So I go walking up. I wonder what happened. He said, "Is that your truck sitting out there?" I go, "Yeah." He said, "I suggest you move it around to the back." I go, "Why? Well, what's the problem?" In Alabama, all your counties are numbered, and mine had a number 25 tag on the back. So I thought maybe some people a little bit sensitive about Coleman County. And so he said, "No, man, you got that damned Auburn tag on the front." I never even thought about it. So I go out there and move the truck. And but he said, "Well, the reason is when they get through drinking here, they'll go out there and bust your taillights. When they see that, it's going to incite them to ride when they see that Auburn tag." And they wasn't kidding. They're serious about their ball here in Alabama. Hmm. But everybody, whatever town you're in, if you're in Michigan, I'm sure Notre Dame, or if you're in Florida, Gators, or if you're over in Louisiana, swamp rats, or what do they call themselves? uh, Everybody roots for their team. I'm a ham radio operator, so of course I put N4 DLR front and rear usually. No, I don't. I only put it on the rear. We don't. I don't have nothing now on the front. But that's a yeah. We can put anything we want up there. Exclusive committee here. I will be honored to serve my district with true servant leadership and with competence and the. Oh well, hey, you're a rising star. The only two things I like rising is bread rising up in the pan, and that's a long time ago. Yeah, I checked around. I didn't see anybody else on. I thought, well, this might be a good time to go on and get a little one-on-one with folks out there. I had a little in this morning. I had a short 24-minute live this morning when we went to the vet. And we keep saying we're going to do this, but we will do it. It we usually I don't do the all stake now because unless they've got an elevator, I don't do the climbing of the stairs very well. I do have I mean I like my Angelique says to me, "How long are you going to use that broken leg for an excuse?" Well, I tell her it's gone beyond being an excuse. It's a real thing. I don't have the dexterity in my foot. I don't have the full ankle movement because of the plates, and so I'm always afraid of tripping on stairs. I mean, one of the things that will scare old Mac is a broken hip because it could be a death warrant for an old codger like me. Well, I like them buns, them rolls. I just come on, train. I can't get enough of them buns. Oh, what is that orange? Oh, it's a really good place to eat. We've had my wife and I. That was one of our places we went to when we celebrated anything. You had little ambiance, and it's not a buffet. It's a real good place to eat. I spent 6 years driving over the road with a big rig, and I was like Sterling Wheel. My driving the 6 years was for my pleasure. They paid me good money for 6 years to haul cargo all over America, and I was retired. My life was set for the rest of my life, but the pleasure of driving and taking my drone and go places, and we'd get laid up there like Sioux City, Iowa. We got laid up there for a day and a half, but uh, I flew my drone and went out and played, and I get to do a lot of stuff. I go if there's one of those what do they call those things where you get on them and you ride the line? What is that called? I love them things. They strap you in and they push you. What I never did do though, one thing I never did do, I never did go off that tall tower in Las Vegas. That one right there looks like it would scare old Mac. Hey, Frogzilla. I don't know. I don't have my frog shirt. I don't use. Yeah, it's in the wash now. I had to break out another sweatshirt. It's sweatshirt weather down here in Alabama. I really appreciate you guys coming and spending a little time with me. Um, my son and I, we had a nice long talk last night, and well, we try to get in a few of those chats. When I was stationed, when I was doing the Minuteman thing, my son he went with me on quite a few trips. They provided me with the best housing you could get. You live on the base, and when you live in a remote area, they really give you a good house. They don't put you in a tent or nothing like that. So that boy, he loves traveling with me. We went everywhere. He liked being in the military because we had to we had to go in and out of the base because we lived on the base, and there's quite a protocol getting in and out of a SAC base. Strategic Air Command had some pretty rigid standards, and so the line was always big because they checked everything. They didn't allow you to bring nothing onto the base, and Don really liked him. He used to go to the theater there at Whiteman Air Force Base, and they first run movies. They provided it for all military families, and he liked all the amenities. They had a daycare center for so they after the school was over, if they it was always open to them, they could go in and get supper, go over and eat supper on the base. Um, yeah, if I happen to have to do, like, see if I got out in a remote area and we got stranded out there and we couldn't get back for 2 or 3 days, they would feed them. They would bring their breakfast to them, and they really were taken really good care of. 18 inches of snow. Woo! Oh, so we left Seattle, and our first stop was Maelstrom Air Force Base on our tour when we started doing our very first deployment was to Maelstrom Air Force Base in Great Falls, Montana. And did somebody say Shelly? Is she in here? Oh, she may be going by another name on here, and I probably was talking to her a while ago and thought it. Yeah, I'm an old guy. You have to forgive me. Uh, so I had a I had a Blazer. I think they call them K5 K5 Blazers or K10 or whatever they were. And I had these 33-inch big tires on the thing, 33-inch tires. And so that first night, man, we was living it. It was snowing really heavy. Then it quit snowing and started freezing. I got out there that morning, and all four of my tires were flat, really low. They wasn't flat. So I drove down to the nearest place and had they put I think they put nitrogen in the instead of air, but they aired me up, and he said, "You're about the 100th one that come in today already, because anybody that come from the West Coast, they come over here and all that air just depletes when it gets really cold." And we didn't have no more problems after that with the low tires. I wouldn't give nothing for those days. Them was the best days of my life. Um, it was never a dull moment. See, I made a mistake a while ago, and Shelley, I was talking about you and didn't know that I was talking to you. um, uh, uh, but I know who you are now. And I'll tell you, I really enjoyed um, watching you. I wish you'd have had your instruments. So you told that sad but true story about being on a boat with stringed instruments. and I guess the wood must have delaminated or whatever. But I can see where it would raise hell with some good wood. The acoustics would certainly go away. But I enjoyed the show this afternoon, and I intend to make more of them. And I know these other coffee crew members probably be checking you out. Brown Chicken, of course, he's checked you out. And like I said to those folks a while ago, you're a fine, fine looking Polynesian woman. She ain't not for a lightweight. She's got a 6-foot frame on her, and she's Army strong. She got a head full of hair, let me tell you. Big old curly hair all over, and got a laugh that's absolutely infectious. It just when she laughs, it makes you laugh too. I like a good laugh. She loves cats too. Ray, he really loves cats. I think men probably have liked cats for a long time, but in their macho thing, they couldn't admit that they ever petted a cat. You remember I got one last year. Don't push it, man. Yeah. I uh I I may not, I'm a short time, man. I may go out this way. Um yeah, I may let it just go. I might look like I may even get a perm in it, let it grow out, get it all permed up and everything. And who's to say? Oh, look here. Oh, in fact, look right here. See that little guy right here? See this little fellow right there? That picture was taken in 1980. That's me right there in 1980. I mean, I had the world there. Hey, sick. Good to see you, man. Yeah, 1980. They took this picture right here, and so I let my beard grow out in the 80s because I was stationed out in the field before I went out. I went out there, started in the 70s. You have to go a year at a time. You can't go out there and do a little TDY or whatever. Uh, so the first thing, my person is called the base commander. His name was Ken Carson. Ken Carson. Ken called me into his office and he said, "That beard's got to go. You're going to be on an Air Force base and they won't allow you to have a beard." So I took the beard off, everything off, beard, mustache, everything. Had my hair cut high and tight. I went down to a Marine barber and had him give me the white walls, man. So I appeared over there at Maelstrom Air Force Base, and they said, "Oh, you're not going to be living here. You're only going to be here for a few weeks. We're setting you up a home in Lewistown, Montana. If you look on the map, Lewistown is out in the middle of the state." And they said, "So you'll have to go report in over there, and we'll let you know." But he said, "Just have some fun and do what you want to do until they get your DD 14 or your travel papers to go over to Lewistown." Finally, they cut my papers. They called me up, gave me my papers. So I get over there to Lewistown, and every human being there was fully bearded. All the men were big old bushy beards. They looked like mountain men. These are indigenous people of Montana. They're not Boyan people. They're indigenous people. They live in them hills over there in Montana. So they finally gave me an assignment to go out to a silo, and so I grabbed my little paperwork and headed out to a silo. And I get out there, and I mean, I look like a shaved tail, slick face, and so every one of them was just all bushed out with beards. And I go, what happened to the rule about no beards? He said, oh, that only applies to the base. When you're remote, there's no such thing. Remote, you can wear that sucker. so, um, so when I come back into the home office, I had a big beard, big old black beard back in them days. And the first thing they called me up at the military house up there, base command they call it. And I went up there and they said, the beard's got to go. And I go, wait a minute, I already went through all this stuff. And he said, no, you got to crop it back. So I cut it all off. And over here, I let where my mustache is coming down here, I grew Fu Manchu and I let it, I had like a Fu Manchu. And they would look at it every once. I called them handlebars, because it was kind of long. And every once in a while, there'd be some new manager want to make a little stink about the mustache. See, the rules were the mustache could only come to you corner your lip. And finally, all that crap went away. In 19, in somewhere in the 80s, they finally released, they relaxed their dress code. Because here's what happened. If you notice the boys, I'll give you another little short story. I had a son got married in 2012, and I was invited to the wedding. It was over there at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. And so we went down, and he had about 30 or so of his military buddies get together down at Fort Sill, and we went in and he was a drill instructor at Fort Sill for 10 years. So he had a really big friend base, and and my son had this big old beard, and he wore them tablecloths like they had over in Afghanistan. He had this tablecloth around his neck, that little checkered black and white checkered thing he was wearing. And then when I got in that room, every one of them was all just come back from Afghanistan and Iraq and various places, and they was all dressed like that, and I had then a beard, and so man, they was all giving me the fist bump, and it was quite a nice get together. They all ride Harleys, and so we all hit it off real good. Every one of us bike riders, and as soon as my son got cut loose from the army, he rode around on his bike for quite a while. He went down to the Grand Canyon. Life was good. Most of you guys probably heard all the stories before, but as you as you get older, you find yourself repeating some of your stories because not everybody has heard them. So those that have heard my stories before, uh, bear with me. We'll get through this. Oh, the kids over there, the ones that just come back from war, they I had a 87th Airborne hat on. My son gave me an 87th because 80 he was detached to the he was in the 101st Airborne for many, many deployments, but on this particular deployment, when they parachuted into up in the Curtis Eric, up where the Kurds live, and they landed on a hillside. Yeah, they went in over there and landed on the hillside, and well, a lot of guys got hurt. They got hurt, and so they sent my son back to Fort Benning, Georgia. And what they done is redesigned the parachute. You got to on your chest. You've got a pack here, and then you got this big thing that's strapped onto you. and it's got a lot of stuff in it. And then when you get close, you detach it, and it drops down to the ground, and it's got a lanyard. Anybody that's done this kind of thing, they know what I'm talking about. But the lanyard was too short, and they was landing on their packs and breaking their ankles and breaking ribs and stuff, and so they had developed a new longer lanyard, and so he had to go down and do the instructing them to um, how to land with how to deal with this longer lanyard. Anyhow, he was attached to the 87th Airborne, and so when I got over, he gave me an 87th Airborne, and it's something like, oh, it's all about death and everything. They got these logos all about. They really pride themselves about being killers. they like they like that they like that mean stuff. And anyhow, he gives me the hat. So when we walked in where this group was at, um, so uh, one of them noticed the hat and he said, "Oh, you're airborne." I go, "Well, yeah, it goes back a long time ago." I said, "When we jumped, I go back so far, they didn't have airplanes, and the only way we could make it work, they would shoot us out of a cannon, and the parachute would open on impact." We was hardcore. And they, oh, them soldiers, oh, they loved it. They laughing, knowing that Mack's daddy was shot out of a cannon. Oh, yeah, I agree with you two for. There's not very many options when you get up to my age, but however, it's better than the final solution. I'm hoping Sick is doing okay tonight. I checked and I didn't see anybody on the doing a show or nothing, so I thought, well, hey, I'll just go in there and get a little time on the air. Well, if when you live a long time and you've lived an exciting life, I know Shelley. She could probably tell you stories. I mean, about her adventures, and I don't mean blood, guts, and glory kind of stories. Most of you soldiers kind of avoid that kind of stuff because they work hard at it, trying to clear their mind up where they don't have to carry that burden with them all the time. Oh, sick as Carney was with me here a while ago, so he must have just come over for a courtesy hello. Oh, okay. Well, hey, um, everybody can just flitter about, you know, and there's a lot of room here. Yeah, they call me a lifer. If you look down here, I was a lifer. All these represents each of those are 5 years of service, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And here's, I think the top of it up here says, I think that one is 35 right there. Um, and I've got the award for my 40th year completed. So, um, and if you spend that kind of life doing the kind of things that you've seen, the stuff we did up here on the wall, you're going to have some stories to tell. Oh, Carney, I'm so sorry. These people will come and go, and so, but I didn't see anybody on when I went on, but I won't be on here very long. I was kind of hoping Dave. I haven't caught up with Dave in Australia for a while either. Um, I did see a little note from him the other day. in response to some of my videos. Uh, Shelly, I don't know if you have if you get to see. I write a lot of music, and I did write a song the other day about the tensions that we're having in this country, and it's just we're not a political kind of a person, but um, we've seen this before. So many times we've seen these kind of back during the Vietnam War, there was people who really genuinely wanted the war to end. And the government's position on it was they were cowards and traitors for uh, peaceful protesting. And no, that's what the Constitution, that is one of the things that's very clearly written. It's not a fuzzy area. The right to protest, the right to assemble. There's First Amendment has 5 stages to it. It ain't just one First Amendment right to free speech. There's segments to it. And no, you to harm any protester. I mean, that's probably one of the most healthiest portions of our republic is the right to speak your mind. It gets old after a while. I mean, all the drama and stuff. I've made several remarks about it's just hard to dodge it, to get out of the drama, but we're going to do our best to escape it. Well, I don't have here. I live in a state where you can't do dope. Well, if you're going to do it, you're going to have to find somebody that can help you out. Like score a lid from somebody. I think they used to call it a dime bag or something like that. But we live in an area where I had a couple of friends come over, and we what I did is I brought back a bevy of beauties from Washington State. I had it all, and people knew I was coming back, and they come over, and man, everybody was, mm, mm, mm. But you can't even escape it by taking a couple of gummies and just kick back and relax. I don't do drugs. I'm not one for taking uppers and downers. I'm not against anybody that does, but I just don't find that the relief I want. And my best relief is just simply avoid it. And I've been doing pretty good about it. And of course, when I wrote the song, that opened up a floodgate of, well, their right to an opinion. And I appreciate it because that's what we're all about. Yeah, we lived through a horrible time of the 50s. You think, well, hey, we only had a war. It lasted 3 years, the forgotten war, and that was bad enough itself. There's a lot of people sacrificed everything for those 3 years. But then we had this period of time where we couldn't trust one another. You had during what they call the McCarthy era of time where everybody was a suspected commie. And back in our days, since we had a general that went on to be the president of the United States, General Dwight D. Eisenhower, we had two sayings in the 50s. I like Ike, and I'd rather be dead than red. And so we lived during that period of time where everybody was suspected of being a commie. And now we're back at that same period of time. Look how much distance it went from the 50s to 2025. About everybody being a commie now. I mean, if you protest, you're a commie. If you speak up about anything against this government, you're a commie, and that ain't the way it's supposed to work. But they'll do what they're going to do. And I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to try my best to stay out of it. And I keep saying that and I keep exposing myself. I just don't ever seem to learn. Did I see Rob? Is Rob in here? Oh, Rob's out. Is it Rob on the road? Oh, I'm sorry. That's a different. I'm sorry. I thought we was talking about Rob's neighbor. Hey, Rob from Yorkshire, England. it's I'm an old man. I have probably lost 10 feet of hair in my life. Um, yeah, that stuff. It comes and it goes. Last year we cut it off, and I decided I wanted to go out this way. This is the year of my 86th year of living, so I wanted to go out this way because I didn't create me, and I was created with a beard. I had hair follicles that comes out of my face, and I thought there must have been a reason that he, made us guys have whiskers. And in fact, I read a book one time. I read a book. It had a funny name in it. The chapter in the book was called Leviticus. I believe it's 1924, 1927, or somewhere right in the 19 area over there. Lays out plan how he wanted his holy men. Well, I am not a holy man by no means. And I'm just a guy that was created by somebody that was a whole lot smarter than I am. And I ain't going to condemn him because sitting here in my boots, I think he's done a pretty good job. He gave us a real mixed bag of human beings, all shades, sizes, attitudes, mental stability. He gave us all these things and all these different people. And he called them his children. So I'm really, I'm going to take this probably out with me when I go. I'm telling Angelique when they go to slide me in the oven there, and they say, it might be a fire hazard. We might have to take the lawnmower and mow his beard off there. I'm going to tell her, you say, she's going to call my attorney. I have a law firm that protects me all the time. They got me through 4 divorces. My law firm did. Dewey, Cheatham, and Howell. Man, they're the best lawyers as you can get. Dewey, Cheatham, and Howell. And she's going to turn Dewey, Cheatham, and Howell onto the funeral parlor if they try to cut my beard before they put me in the oven. That's right. He was talking very specifically about the Israelis. We remember this. We're infidels. We're the epitome of infidels. Gentiles, I believe. That was yeah. Maybe that'd be the word they put on us. But I figured if he didn't want me to have it, he wouldn't have given it to me. But it's not a deal that I concern myself with because it comes off as easy. Well, it takes a long time to grow back, but it goes off pretty quick. There's so many religions out there. I've explored quite a few of them to see. I think most people explore religions are looking for one that suits them best, because there's some religions, that they don't believe in hell, they don't believe in heaven, and some religions they have some really, man, you have to really walk the tight line there to stay in their cult or in their group. It can get really fuzzy. You start getting into the different religions. Well, what I say is God bless each and every one of them, whatever works for them. You remember, the one of the rules he gave us is not to judge, and I am not going to sit in judgment of your religion. It ain't gonna be me. But there are people that do it. They make a living doing judging the other religions, and that's how they make their living. Yeah, yeah. You gotta check out. You find one like I've got a kind of a mixed bag of sins in my past, so I need a religion that would cover most of them. You're always looking for a way to have an edge. Maybe I'm only speaking for myself, but we we've had a lot of fun last year. I'm sure Frogzilla he remembers when we started a movement last year. We were going to be rubber tired deacons. We were going to go from city to city. Now we was going to get riding on Ruby was going to drive the bus for us. He's been driving a school bus for 40 something years, and so we was going to get him to drive our bus for us. The rubber tired deacons, and we were going to go from city to city, and like on Saturdays we'd have like a swap meet, and we'd sell them white T-shirts, and they'd buy our trinkets and stuff. We'd set up a tent, and they'd buy a lot of stuff from us, and then we'd Saturday night we would have tent revival, and all those that we brought up to the altar, they automatically we take them out the next day to a small lake and baptize them. And we had one or two of our rubber tired deacons to pour the different colored dyes in the water. So when we dipped you and you come out with a multicolored shirt, a tie dye experience, you'd come away with a shirt, brightly colored, and well, our whole mission started coming apart. I've got a rebel flag down here. Well, I had it. I had a rebel flag that was on a magnet that somebody sent me, and I used to have it stuck on the side. I don't see it. Stuck on the side of the desk, and and then it got where it wasn't popular anymore. So I guess I packed it up and it's got moved on. Yeah, I had this. All this was hanging over there where the other computer's sitting, and we took it all down, and I took the ham station all out over there. I had a bunch of ham radios and stuff, and I took all that out, and this was all hanging over there. And Angelique, she went in and got it. I asked her if she'd go find it for me because I want to make sure this blade didn't rust. It's been packed up for a few years. Pulled that thing out, and it was just like the day we put it in there, nice and sharp. Uh, you're going to touch off all right, desert outlaw. uh, he's a young cowboy. He'd say, "Bring it on." That's one thing you don't have to worry about ever on old Mack's channel. You don't have to be worried about ever being sorry about anything. That's up to you. I didn't. If I'm not mistaken, you remember when our rubber tire deacon thing all broke up and we didn't talk about it for a year. I think, did you move to Florida or did you move to Georgia? You was out there when we knew you. You was remember I came through your town there at 1 o'clock in the morning. Tucson. Oh, he's a beach outlaw now. Uh, that's what I see. I'd heard it, and then you was absent for a long time, and I feel he's got woman problems because usually when a guy goes off the air, it's all about having a woman problem. Yeah, she took my trailer house. I just got the last payment on the polyester curtains, and then she took it. Had her boyfriend came over with a half-ton pickup trailer, a pickup truck, and hauled my trailer away. Dang it! Took my dog too. Well, this is the way we used to do things when back during the working days. Friday evening was we always look forward to Fridays. That's the beginning of the weekend, and having a Friday night show, man, it's just like hello weekend. Here we are. Oh, the English person. Let me see. Let me go back up here and look at who just came in from England. I saw and I spoke to him, but I didn't get in depth with them. Okay, here we go. Oh, that's Rob on the road. Okay, from Yorkshire. Man, I'm glad that I'm hoping you're still here and here with us. We've got Kime. He lives over there. He lives not too far from Birmingham. Birmingham. I think they say Birmingham. Birmingham over there. But we down here, here in the South, we call it Birmingham. It's right down yonder. Little old town, Smoke City. Tyke truck. Oh, cool. Well, yeah, you know about trucking and stuff. I remember my trucking lingo. I believe y'all drive lorries. Uh, I loved it. I'm telling you. Well, I started off my life before I went into the service. I had a friend that had a contract with Alabama Tank Line hauling um, asphalt and stuff like that for the county and state. And he asked me if I'd give him a hand. I was 16 years old. I had my driver's license. And back in them days, all you had to have is your ICC card. And so I started helping him out. We would run team together. And we'd haul from Port, Alabama up to Chattanooga, Tennessee, Fort Payne, Alabama, or just all over. And back in them days, we had an old white truck. The company was named White, and I don't remember which series of white it was, but it pulled that tanker of asphalt and had a big burner on it, and they were specially designed for hauling asphalt. And we put a lot of miles on that. Well, then after I got out of service, I went to the West Coast, and I just had a big background in truck driving, and the next thing I know, I'm traveling up and down the West Coast driving trucks. We finally got up in Washington State, and then when we was living in Pasco, we was hauling over into the Rocky Mountains, and that was always hazardous driving, chains on, chains off, and we were young. You didn't notice the labor back in them days. Hell, you could jump off the top of that truck down to the pavement and all that stuff. Hell, it'd kill you today. It wasn't me, but we enjoyed our trucking. And when I was driving here in the last 6 years that I drove out of Birmingham, Alabama, and we covered all the states. And uh, I wanted to specifically go to the West Coast. And a lot of people don't like the West Coast for no reason. They don't like New York. And no offense to anybody in New York, but any any day room when they post a sign up over there, they got to run to Albany, New York, or um, Staten Island, or somewhere like that. Nobody would go pick it. But I'd take the New York runs, and I would run to Washington State. I like both of those. Oh, Laurie is from the Old English. I seen it in the movies. That's the only reason I made that remark. Oh, okay, I got you. Well, that's good to know, but ours is just all from the what we saw in the movies, and yeah, yeah, but we enjoyed it, and of course, when we were up in Washington State, you had to pull a set of doubles. Yeah, you had to be endorsed for a combination, so you pulled, a set of doubles, and now they got triples out on the West Coast, and, I never did pull a triple, but we used to haul potatoes out of the field, and we'd load our tractor, and then or the trailer on and then we would hook up to the pup. It was a 28-foot, a little 28-foot pup on the back, and we'd load it full of potatoes. And sometimes when we're loading out of the field, you would have as many rocks as you had potatoes. They had the shaker wouldn't get all the rocks out. And one time we come across the scales. They closed the scale house. I was about 4 trucks away from going across the scales. And the reason he had to close the scale house, he had to haul these people to jail, go down there, and you have to go down and sign your own recognizance and all that kind of stuff to get out of jail because of overweight tickets there in Washington on Highway 390, US 395. And while we were standing there, we saw an airplane circling over towards Pasco, Kennewick, and Richland and that area. Big military base over there. It was a 727. Oh, thank you very much for joining us, and you know where we're at. Come and join us, and anytime, feel free to go up there and check some of my music out that I write and I put them on the air. There's a lot of songs up there. It's all AI crap, I don't know nothing about anything, but I know how to put words together. I can make a song, and thank you very much for coming over. And I wish I could put you in living color here on my screen because you're a eye candy for an old guy like me. I love a pretty woman, and you're it. You're just a wholesome human being. Have a really good head on your shoulders. Bye bye. I don't necessarily like them because they're pretty. You can have a pretty heart, and the rest don't matter. Well, we've been in here for over an hour, so maybe a lot of people might. I don't. I'm not wound down. I'm good to go for as long as anybody wants to stay in here. One time, I went and looked at my live videos. I've got some 7-hour broadcasts, and mine wasn't just dead 7 hours. I sat and talked for 7 hours. And normally most of my lives are 5 hours long, and no, I just enjoy. Well, I've spent 48 years as a ham radio operator, so you have to be able to talk a little bit if you're going to enjoy that hobby because it's all about talking. Uh, Rob on the road. I got to remember that. You got to come and join us on the coffee crew in the mornings. Oh yeah, yeah. You may be already. Um, I might be saying something I don't know, but anyhow, they're a fun-loving group, and they'll make you feel at home. 3 days a week: Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 8:30 Central Time, 9:30 Eastern. They got some good human beings on there, and I'm just proud to be a part of them. Not that I'm all that good, but the fact remains they welcome me in, so I feel at home. We were just at the store today, and the other day, you remember I called, I got on the phone here, I picked the phone up. Hey, Robin, picked the phone up and called Angelique, and I said, bring me a beer. She said, she said, we ain't got any. Today I didn't get any beer. Well, when it's cold out there in your truck, you don't think about drinking beer. Well, don't shoot yourself in the foot, Robin. Well, it's getting close to ice time. Let me see. I'll look at the weather here real quick. Well, it looks like it'll be around 2 in the morning before the potential for snow. No, it's 3 in the morning. Yeah, 3 in the morning. Let me see. Yeah, that's looked like, and tomorrow it's just going to be, well, really though, the real heavy stuff don't come in until tomorrow evening. So yeah, we got the next few days ahead of us. We're going to be in a cold snap. Oh, Bailey's, let me tell you, Irish cream. Irish cream it gets me through a lot. I mean, last time we was at Costco, we got 2 half-gallon jugs of that Bailey's, the Kirkland brand of Irish cream, and it's the same damn stuff, but they put their name Kirkland on it. Instead of paying $45 a bottle, you're getting a hell of a lot cheaper. And we go through a lot of it because we like it in cocoa. We like it. She likes hers in cocoa. I like mine in coffee. And the other day, I want to tell you this: we had some vanilla ice cream, and she went in there and on the food thing, the processor or what that. No, she used the slushy machine or whatever. She throwed several scoops of ice cream in there and poured in about a cup of Bailey's and boy, you talking about a fine milkshake. That is some good drinking right there. Well, you could use any flavor you like. I wonder how it would work with a Rocky Road. It's already got chocolate in it, and you put about a cup or so of Bailey's in that Rocky Road and run it through the blender. That's got to be good. I heard a little when she comes here. I'm gonna ask her. Did she? No, she didn't get in. I didn't see her put it in the truck. So maybe we'll go out tomorrow and get some Baileys. I get some beer, not Baileys. We got plenty of Baileys. uh, freeze your nads off. Oh, they're going to be a shrinkage factor. I'll assure you of that. Uh, that's one of the good things about getting older. I mean, that thing, that thing hanging there between your legs don't have as near as much significant meaning to it as that it did 20 years ago. You don't lay up at night thinking about that stuff now. I mean, you can go over and go to bed and go to sleep. Uh, yeah, it'd be like a little turtle, that head all sucked back up in there like a turtle. Yeah, we gotta. One of these days, YouTube is going to open this thing up, maybe and start charging a little fee and open it up like they do with OBS and with StreamYard and some of these other competitive. They're always looking for ways to make more money, and but right now they're stuck. I don't believe you can go to 4K on YouTube. I believe you're stuck at 1080p. And I don't even know what the resolution I'm doing it now. I don't see any way of changing it. Nope. Let me see what that does. No, that don't do anything. What does that do? Pop out dashboard. No, that don't do anything. I'm trying to figure out ways to change the resolution. It may be HD. I don't know. Let's try this one right here. Ooh, what's that right there? You talking about Miss Pomeroy? Miss Pomeroy and her daughters. You didn't buy any beer, did you, when you went out?
Of course not.
Oh.
Besides, I wouldn't give you one anyway at this late at night anyway.
Thanks. Did you did you did you do this one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's potty time for the dogs. Angelique just come and start taking the dogs out. She knows I'm. I used OBS before I went to StreamYard, and I liked it well enough. And then somebody, Motorbomb, I think Motorbomb, he had StreamYard, so I signed up to whatever plan he had, and so I played with that for a while too, and and it was a lot of fun. And then I didn't have no internet. We had no internet. 3 months we had no Wi-Fi here, none, zero, nada, and so I got off that, and then finally when we did get internet, I came back just to YouTube, and of course I go over on StreamYard with Moto and his crew and Sick and Carney. I go over there when Carney's broadcasting. When I get an invite to any of them, I usually go join in. OBS, for the most part, is just really intuitive. It's got a lot of stuff in there, and it can cloud your mind because you're trying to cram all of the different things you can do, trying to learn it all in one day. I would suggest anybody with OBS is to spend some time researching all the things you can do with it. Um, it's a proven platform, and but it's just so much of it, you can just get overwhelmed with all the things it's got. Now, StreamYard is pretty well a cut and dried operation. You're limited what you can and can't do compared to OBS. That's right. Just one wrong decision, one wrong choice. The next thing you know, you've got a picture askewed, and you say, "How do I get this back?" That was so frustrating. Honey, are you getting ready to go to bed?
Just saying.
Huh?
Just saying. You could probably.
Why don't you come over and give me just a little bit smack, smack. Good night, sweetie.
Nighty nighty.
Yeah, yeah, I'd suggest anybody to spend some time and work with it and get yourself familiarized with all the things you can do. And then when you want to start flexing your muscles and dabbling into it, getting your uh, your expertise to a level of knowing how to use those things on a repetitive basis. In other words, you learn it one time and then you go, "What the hell? How did I do that? What can I do to get back there?" You got to have this thing where you can recall it, and apply it, and do that over and over. And a lot of us are on a busy schedule. Um, well, I know Toga, I know you're on a busy schedule because you work 24/7. There comes the train. Hang on. Yeah, this camera position I've got it in now, it's up high, but it leaves you free open. You can get to the keyboard and do stuff, and I did have it on a tripod here, sitting over on the desk, and it was always in front. The tripod was always in front of the keyboard, and I found it awkward reaching around it. So I set it up on top of the monitor, but it's over there about 35, 36 inches away. No, maybe even 2 foot. I don't know. It's quite a ways over there. That's where you see so much of the room is it's setting the camera setting so far back. Now we're looking at. I wrote it down. Oh, I probably will order it. We're looking at an Insta 360. The one that's got the two axes where it tilts and rotates and follows you and stuff like that. Uh, Now that's the one we're going to probably get from Best Buy. Now I'm looking. I'll keep going back and look because every once in a while they'll throw it. They didn't have any in house. The one I want, you had to order it, and so sometimes if it shows a store that's with my driving range, I'll just drive over and get it. Um, that's a lot better than sitting waiting for a week for it to get here. uh, negotiating with a hooker. Well, truck drivers, right here in America, we call them lot lizards. They got all kinds of names for them now. Commercial ladies, and and it's a thriving business. One time I was up at Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I was sitting there at the Flying J truck stop, and all I was doing is just bringing my logbook up because I was going to hit I-29 and go south to Denver. And while I was sitting there, I'd already went in and had supper, and then I was just waiting for my logbook to catch up with me. And so a young lady came out there. Oh, was she ever a good looking woman? She she had them short shorts on and low halter top, and it was freezing. I'm talking about cold. And she patted on the window over on that side, passenger side, wanted to know if she could get in. And, and so I rolled the window down and asked her what she wanted. She said, I just need to get warm for a little while. So I opened the door, I let her get in, and she sat there and got warm. She was freezing. And I even gave her a blanket to put over her legs so that she wouldn't be so cold. And anyhow, hardworking people. I'm not kidding you. What a way to make a living. I mean, it's tough. And knowing they don't get to keep all the money either. They got some manager that gets a big portion of it, and and they take all the risk. Ain't no pleasure. I don't see any of them having any pleasure. Yeah, some guys got the ego believing that they could satisfy one. Get it out of your mind. It's a business transaction. They these ladies up there in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, are really there's some fine looking people that works that whole corner right there. It's a real big, this is where I-90 and I-29 goes, and it's a huge. So you got the ladies of the evening there anytime, night or day. Yeah, I mean, this is a hard way of making a living, and here's the deal. You take a sorry low lifer that would slap one of those girls around as hard as she has to work for her money, the stuff that she has to do. These are not real good people. I mean, if you really just needed to get a little relief, that's one thing, but take out your hostilities and aggressions against, after you get your load off, then you have this fit of anger that maybe you got off too soon. You ain't getting your full money's worth. You felt like, these are professional ladies that knows how to get you off. It's not a deal where they're going to let you lay on them for an hour and a half, 2 hours, puffing and blowing and humping and screaming, and all that shit. They want you to wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. The girls up there on the intersection of I-90 and I-29, they have a change maker on the side. They can bust a $10 bill. Them girls are hustling. My God. Yeah. Oh, you could get yourself killed. Not only is it hazardous to your health in a lot of ways, no matter how much protection you use. I asked you a question, all you guys in here that's listening right now. How is a rubber prophylactic with a hole in it, just like a rattlesnake? I'm waiting for an answer now. The question was, how is a prophylactic or a rubber with a hole in it, just like a rattlesnake? Prophylactic. Oh, what's a rubber? Uh, Trojan. Anybody want to dare to come up with an answer? Time to go. Time to blow. It's best you don't fuck with either one of them. Yeah, it could lead to child support for sure. Yeah, you're cutting into their profit, man. And let me tell you, we went to a whorehouse in Othello, Washington. It was a real known. It was a see up there. Prostitution was legalized in Idaho and parts of Washington. It was legalized all the way up into the about into the 70s, and so cowboys would go to the whorehouse. That's we were cowboys in those days, and so what they had is the guy up in the front, the manager that had his stable of girls. You picked out the one they was all laying. They were sitting here and there, and you let the manager know which one you want to spend your money on. And so when you went down the hallway, you went to an assigned room, and when your 15 minutes was up, he would flip the light on, and it would just go on and off. And if he put the light on steady, he would walk down there and let you know that you're paying a double load. I mean, if you ain't got your job done in that 15 minutes, he's a big old guy. He's the bouncer. He would throw your ass out of that place. But the girls back in them days now had to have a health card and they had to be board certified and all that stuff. I think it's a safer way of going. This is for single guys and guys um, that need that kind of release. They've got. Look at the Mustang Ranch down in Nevada. Down in Nevada. It's it's has state protection and usually there's pretty safe environment. But those things are going away. Rubber Jenny. uh, Robin, have you ever seen the serial number on a prophylactic? Oh, you never had to roll one out that far? You little short pecker. You little nubbin. You remember that song I wrote for you, nubbin? That's an inside joke. Only Robin knows about nubbin. Yep, that's right. That was just another time in our history. Everybody knows that last name.
Circle back.
We used to go to Mexico a lot. Um, I mean, we went down there quite a bit. Uh, eh, when you live on a border state, they have a place right across the border that usually you could find them called Boys Town. That's where boys would go play. You know, and they always had the dog and pony show there too at these boy towns. You could see things that a country boy never seen before, and those shows are real in Boys Town, and you could do almost anything in Boys Town. But once you get on down into Mexico, it's a different story altogether. They won't put up with none of your bullshit down in there. You'll end up getting your throat cut. It ain't a safe place to act crazy. But you can do almost anything you want to do along the border town. They're set up and geared up just for that purpose of entertainment, boys entertainment. Just a good old boy. Well, I appreciate you guys coming and spending some time with old Mac. I really need to go into the toilet, into the loo. Got to go in there and sit on the bidet in the loo. I did that for Rob. um, Rob, I want you to know you're welcome to come back to old Mac's channel. Um, if you want to check out, oh, I even have a driving video that I done 20 years ago. And see, this is 25, 26 now. Yeah, I did a video. I was driving a Freightliner at the time, and I was pulling through Birmingham. I'd made a run. I'd made a run from Montgomery to Atlanta, and on the way over there, oh, it was so stormy. But on the way back, I run head on into a tornado that crossed over I-20, and it killed so many people. I mean, it was devastating. Right there, just in Sinclair County, just outside of Birmingham. And boy, I'm telling you, it was a bad one. And I saw the whole thing. I mean, you know, I'm driving right into it. As I crest up over the hill, it just went across the freeway. So I went through the backside where all this rain was just my Freightliner. When I went through this water when you come down off the freeway, you got to go under there's railroad tracks down there. When I went in, they kind of tunnel out for you to go down under the railroad tracks. Water came all the way up to my windshield. It hit and just washed up on my windshield. Uh, it was like a flash flood. The water had to be probably 3 foot deep, but when my wheels hit it, it just washed her all the way up on the top of the hood there, and so anyhow, when I uh, got over there, they loaded me up. I had to go back to Atlanta from Birmingham, and the company called me on the next tail and said, um, you don't want to come into Birmingham. We got a tornado on the ground." I called them back and I said, "I've already done unloaded and I'm on my way back to Atlanta." They said, "We was tracking you on the, what was that thing called?" They was tracking me and they said, he said, "You was heading right towards the tornado." Well, it's not real time. There's a relay station and stuff, but I already went through the tornado. And so they just couldn't believe I was able to go through and come back. And now I'm on my way back to Atlanta. But man, was I ever in the rain on the ride back to Atlanta. It was pouring down, heavy, heavy rain. I got up on 285, the loop around Atlanta, and that 285 was running at 30 miles per hour. It was so much water on the road, people hydroplaning, and there was no moving. It was rush hour traffic, and it was a standstill. You tell trucking stories, man. I mean, they're endless. You can never run out of trucking stories. Well, Robin, you have be careful up there. I know you guys get freezes all the time, and you guys are well equipped for the freezing weather. For all those that's living here stateside, the next 4 or 5 days are going to be serious. It's going to be record setting in a lot of cases. It already has broke a lot of records, and but we're going to get out of this. I already looked ahead. Once we get past February, man, it's going to be good. We are going to have some good riding weather. Well, it's like the cartels. I look at them like poking them with a stick. Um, if there's a drug problem in America, spend the money right here and clean up the drugs in America. Clean up, the hospital. Get it set up where we can rehabilitate or whatever. But um, we've seen the war on drugs before, and it just got more and more and more. So Alabama doesn't have any dispensaries or nothing like that. I think they're trying to get some, but I don't see it happening in my lifetime. Oh, um, yeah, oh yeah, we've got a lot of the fighting cowboy things because we used to haul cattle, but we were cowboys, and so we was driving a truck hauling cattle, and so we did a lot of rodeos. And this friend of mine, him and I went to Pendleton, Oregon for the rodeo, and it was that's a big national event. They got all your ABC Wide World of Sports cameras there and everything, and um, so uh, it draws a huge crowd there for the Pendleton Rodeo. And so this one lady that we met there, we bought her a few drinks. She asked if she could get a ride back to Washington State, back over to the Tri City area. And we said yes. And then on the way back, we had about a 100-mile ride. We were all Everybody become friends. Me and my buddy Tony and this young cowgirl that wanted to ride back to Tri Cities. And Tony is a big old scrapping Italian boy, and had them romantic ways, and he thought he had the ways with the ladies and everything. Well, she had an interest in me because I was one that had the car, and so she had asked me to bring her back over to the state, to my state, and anyhow, we was drinking, driving along, drinking, and playing with her knees and stuff, and she'd made it pretty clear that she wanted to be with me, but she was sort of drawn a little bit to him, and so we made a decision. The right thing to do is to fight it out right in the middle of the damn county road to see which one is going to get the cowgirl. Tony was a scrapper now. I bet he was a wrangler. He wrangled bulls and stuff, and he'd ride wild broncs. He was a tough kid. Um, I think, really, in my mind, I believe he could probably have taken me, and I was okay myself. I was stout. So he gets out of his side and runs around, and I was driving a DeSoto car. I was driving hey, Rob, we're telling stories. And so we run around to the front of the car, and Tony's way of fighting was, if you get that first blow in, you can change a guy's mind about fighting. If you put that fist just right, it takes the fighting mood out of you. And his idea was he was going to get that first blow to the side of my head. As I swung around in front of the car, he had that left, man. He come around with that left. We was in the dark, but there was headlights shining out there. He caught that hood ornament, that DeSoto. They were on the front of that DeSoto car. There was an old Spanish Explorer on the hood of the car. That's DeSoto, named after the explorer. He hit that solid steel thing with his fist and drove all them knuckles back up in his hand. So the fight was over with. I never even hit him. I didn't do anything. All we did is try to straighten his fingers up and try to, he tore the skin up on his hand. We had to pour whiskey on it and stuff, to get him out of the pain. But she decided to go with me, and she was my trucking girlfriend for several years. Every time I'd come through town, I knew where she ate, and I knew where she worked, and when I'd truck into her town, she'd hop in my truck, and she lived about 60 miles to the north, and I'd give her a ride home. That was a great way of taking a ride. Yeah. Oh my God, that's we're talking about in the 60s. Yeah, Punch de Leon and all those Spanish explorers. De Soto happened to be one of them. And on the front of the hood of the car, he had his little helmet on his head. I'm gonna tell you, he busted that. I mean, he didn't hurt that. He didn't hurt that hood. He sure busted that hand up. So every time we'd come across the scales, I'd be going one way and he'd be coming the other direction. I'd look over and he'd be driving with that cast on his hand. He had to have a cast put on his hand because he broke some bones in his hand. And it didn't stop us from being friends. We stayed friends for many years. He went his way and I went my way. We just trucked together and we had a lot of fun. That's all about youth. See, in the 60s, I was only in my 20s, and a lot of fun. It was fun being old Mack when he was in his 20s. Oh, yeah, I've got some broken bones too in my hands. In fact, I've got a burn. I don't know if you can see it there. There's a not much of a burn, a little burn right there. I was taking my casserole out of the oven, and it was up on the top shelf. And instead of me pulling the rack out and taking the pot out, I just reached in there with my bare hands to get a hold of these handles over there that was oh, whatever they call them. They're not a metal that I could pull the whole thing out. Well, I reached over and touched the top of the stove and burnt my thumb. Cut you loose in a hurry. Right now, Rob, we are 37 degrees. It's only dropped 1 degree, but it's starting to move fast towards that lower degree. Um, we've got rain coming. Let me see. This is going to be, yeah, rain. The big stuff starts tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. And boy, I mean, it ain't looking pretty what the long range weather is here. It's down to 8 and 10 degrees at night. I broke this hand right here on a logger's head. Um, it was totally by accident, but he was screaming when he attacked me. And as he come past me, my right is right here. And I hit him. And when he was screaming, he had his mouth out and he had his tongue out. And I cut his tongue all the way across. Oh, he was bleeding. I had a Navy SEAL guy with me. And he said, man, he's bleeding black. The blood was black looking, a lot of blood. And damn, I tell you, look at that hand. Look at that finger. That was from hitting a damn logger. Them loggers are tough. I hit him so hard that it broke my finger here. Oh, it just really messed the hand up there. But the Navy SEAL guy said, I'll fix you up. And he pulled it and supposedly was trying to put it all back in place. But a tendon pulled over and it kind of wrenched your finger a little bit. Hey, Motorbum. We got Rob's neighbor in here. Rob on the road. We've got Thomas. We've got a host of people in here. Well, there was 11 or 12, and we're down to 9 now. So you didn't get in too late. And Toga, Frogzilla. Oh, your friend Vince is following all the. It's going to be news for the next few days. Our long range is all the way till next weekend. 9 Celsius and okay, Robin, he's already gone. He'd be able to tell you in an instant. 48 degrees. Thank you, Toga. Moto, we've been cowboying and we've been truck driving and doing all that stuff. We've had some interesting people in here. We got still have interesting people in here. And what we needed is the catalyst like yourself there to bring it all together. Big Dan. Oh my God, it's going to be so cold in North Georgia. Woo, I'm telling you. been twanging on the guitar. Moto, let me tell you who I run across on the TV I have been enjoying, and you may have already seen him. I'll spell his name for you. He's a Swedish looking guy. He's got blonde hair. Oh, can he ever play? He plays all kinds of, string instruments. It's Dovvydas. Dovvydas. Dovidas. Dovidas. And he has people in the audience get up and play with him. Oh, today I must have listened to 20 or 30 different singers singing up there with him. And if you get a chance on YouTube, go look him up. Dovvydas. Dovidas. And they did, the song Creep, I really like. The young lady, she had a fiddle, and she played the fiddle and did Creep. Um, there were so many great songs they did. Yeah, yeah, that's right. You're right. He is so good. He's an entertainer, and how much talent he takes that keyboard, and he sets all his rhythm and everything, and gets it all set up, and you can tell in his heart, man, he's playing. Hey, Carney. Yeah, today I watched him today. He was over in the Zion Park. I believe that's over in Utah, and he's quite entertaining. Well, he has some guests on there that can do pretty doggone good, and he's witty. He's got little things, and he plays for whatever tips he gets, and of course he makes his money off of his YouTube, and he's got a huge following. Well, look at her, Moto. Rob on the road. He plays the guitar. Yeah, he's got some background. He knows his stuff. Yeah, yeah. What I liked today's show was all those mountains behind him, and the photography is so great. What a place to have a sidewalk group singing and playing, and that whole town came alive when he was playing. Oh yeah, that's him. Uh, yeah, yeah, I enjoyed that one. See, what there was a couple others he did. And yesterday I was watching him. He did Johnny Cash. He said to them people over there in that town he was in, he said, somebody requested a country song. He said, I don't almost never get a request for country. He said, the only person I think I can do a pretty good job is Johnny Cash. Oh my God, he did Johnny good. Johnny Cash, he set that mic up where it had a lot of bass, and he could get them low notes down in there, and I think he did Folsom Prison Blues or something Johnny is famous for. Played in the Waffle House. You could do, yeah, Waffle House. That'd be an interesting place if you didn't like if you didn't like the way the guy plays at the Waffle House, you can just get up and throw him out the window. Oh, see, I didn't know I just made the guess at Swedish because of his blonde hair, but my Angelique, she said, no, he's got roots. So so it looks like he may be using a little bit of Clairol on his hair or something. Yeah, Radiohead creep. That And I saw a woman performing out in the middle of a town square, and my God, she killed it with that song. And then another really pretty young woman, she did Hallelujah, hit all those, uh, really some great notes. And then I watched the guy that played with the Grateful Dead, and I cannot remember his name. And he played some stuff. And today I watched the guy on CCR. He's out on his own doing stuff with a group. He's got a little kind of like a bus or a mini like a Volkswagen bus and Fogarty. Oh my God, he what a story he was telling about how he got his song. The Who'll Stop the Rain or whatever that song. He had been to Woodstock and he opened for he followed Grateful Dead, and Grateful Dead didn't finish his set till 2 o'clock in the morning. Kind of, I didn't know I was going to be on. I have to look and see who all else is on their shows, and I try not to crash with somebody else on their show. So I just get on whenever there's an opening. Yeah, we it took a while for it to grow back, but it's coming back. I lost. I got pictures. I don't have them in my phone, or I'd show you. When I had that radiation treatment, this side. Let me see. Let me point at it. Oh, this side right here. All this right here. So you see those big black spots, and all the surgery was on the jawbone. Oh hell, I had a hard time, buddy. I didn't have no eyebrows. Me without eyebrows, man. I got what's called a unibrow. Yeah, it was a he was doing live, and he was telling a story. He told a story about following Grateful Dead and getting on at 2 o'clock in the morning. Well, the rain never stopped. So when he left, he wrote the song the very next day. "We'll Stop the Rain." He wrote that song, and then he told other in-depth stories about the different people that he's run across in his professional life, and what an entertainer! I just enjoyed his stories as much as they did his singing. Because once you hear him, he sounds the same all the time. If I, Cuddy, if I tell you how you can do this, on my old Mac page on YouTube, if you'll go up there where it says subscribe, but you got to not only do you subscribe, Connie, if you'll hit that bell over there, if you have to actually take your mouse and click on the bell, it will send you a notice when I'm going on. It'll tell you old Mac's going live or whatever. But if you'll click that bell up there, you don't have to worry or guess about when I'm going to be on because it'll send you a notice. Now, most people they schedule when they're going to be a live performance or whatever, but I just jumped in when there was open in place. A lot of people subscribe, but they don't click. They don't ask for notification. They don't hit the bell. If you click the bell and you see the two little hash marks beside the bell, that means you've rung the bell, and you'll get every time anytime I'm on, I'm going to be there. You can find me. I'm going to tell you my story about John Fogerty. When we were in Georgia, in fact, my sister Connie is in here, and she was there too. We worked for well, when we had our tickets, the corporation gave us tickets to go see CCR in Atlanta, Georgia. So we go down and we got reservation. We all go in and we could touch them. They were just right there, man. I mean, I don't remember what was the big hit. Um, at the time, but they went through all their sets that they had, and um, God, it was just absolutely breathtaking. You know, to be that close to them that we revered, they're playing. I think Proud Mary might have been the big number. And I don't know what was big in 68, 69, somewhere like that. I don't know, remember what the big number was, but after now Connie was here with me. She was with her, I think, husband to be, or maybe she might have already married him. I don't remember. But um, when we was going back up on I-75, I had a really hot Barracuda. I had a hot Barracuda. And her husband to be, or maybe was already the husband, had a Super B that he didn't just have the 383, he had a 413, Chrysler 413 in his. He built it all from the ground up, running two 4 barrels and with this wedge engine, 413 cubic inch. He finally went out to 426 when he got it. Oh, yeah, that's true. We are getting older. Um, so on the way back home, we had a chance. He wanted to try out to just see how he would do against my Barracuda. My Barracuda was hot. It was fast. And so we out there on I-75 and we took it up. We took it up maybe twice the speed limit, a little more than twice the speed limit. And all of a sudden we have an exit. We got to take the exit off there. And they came off at the exit at the same time I did. It was a 2-lane exit off the freeway. And we were both smoking our tires. And he couldn't get that big old heavy Super B, couldn't get it stopped. They slid right on through and kept on going. And I got mine woed up. And that was a pretty exciting night. Get to see my hero play and and get to go out there and race on the highway, play NASCAR on the I-75. Well, she was um, in the car with him, and I don't remember if my other sister had her husband was in their car, I don't remember if they was with me or not. Well, a lot of waters went over the dam since that time. That was back in '68. That's back when Mopar used to make some big ass, some really good engines, for their cars. I mean, really good performing. And of course, I never was stuck on one brand. I had every Ford that ever was produced. I had Super CJ um, Torinos. That's 428 Super CJs. I've had every one that they made. I always had the Boss engine, um, Chevrolet. I had the best 427, the best that they made for that period of time. Chevrolet's big block engine. You can ask Honey. I've always had whatever was probably considered the best at that time. I would go down and buy it. Sometimes I would just call them and have them to deliver it to me. Hey, that's the way it was in those days. One time I called and had 2 cars delivered to me on the same day, one for me and one for my wife. Oh, I love that Torino. I had 2 Torinos. Well, I bought a brand new one in Wichita, Kansas. It was a GT, Torino GT that had the 390 in it, GT 390, and it run really good. Had the 4-speed had the 4-speed, um, all that good shifter was on it. It really just walked through the gears really good. And then my mother-in-law bought me a 429 Super CJ 420. No, that was a 428 four-main boat, Super CJ, and a 69 Torino. I had a 68 and a 69. What happened to the 68 is I totaled it out. But the 69, man, that was, like you say, Big Dan, that was a beast. Oh, I'm not bragging about things. This is just the way our lives was. Um, we were young and we had a lot of money, and we made a lot of money. And so hell, my sister, she was a jet setter. Connie right there. Now, my sister Connie never rode coach now. I mean, that was beneath her. She always had to have first class. Um, That's just how we rolled. Uh, and she raised her kids to be the same way, being first class. Everything had to be top notch. And now we live in Alabama in a little cracker box house out in the woods with gators and snakes and spiders. But we're happy. Oh, let me tell you the story about the Chevrolet 427. So I wanted a new Corvette, the new Roadster 427, 435 horse, 3 2 barrels, tri-power. So I think it had the L88 engine in it, or L89 maybe. I go to Burien, Washington, to a dealer called Allen Green Chevrolet. So I walked in there. I've got cash money. I'm ready to throw down, buy the little sucker, and get on out of there. Put my money down to get my Corvette. He said, "Man, it's 6 months before you can get a Corvette." He said, "We got one on the showroom, but it ain't for sale. You have to put your money down and tell them what bill you want, and then we'll deliver it." And like I say, it's about a 6 month turnaround. And of course, I was a little bit disappointed because I'm one of them kind of guys. When I want it then. And so I think Rob on the road. Are you like to wish you all well? Hey, come back anytime. You're more than welcome. Um, so he said, why are you so set on the Corvette? He said, "You got 2 kids there." Me and my wife had 2 kids with me. He said, "I know you're a family man." And he said, "I've got a 427 brand new. Don't have but 4 miles on the car." A young guy come up and his father ordered it and ordered every option you could get on the Chevrolet. In those days, you could custom build your car the way you wanted it. He said it's got the 427. It's got it named off all the close ratio Muncie gearbox. It's got the positive traction, all the right gears, 373 gears in it. Everything was just right. Big suspension, everything. It was in a Chevrolet Caprice with electric windows, electric seats, leather throughout. Chevrolet Caprice 66 with a 427, 425 horse. And I thought, well, that car must weigh 3,500 pounds or more. But we went out and I said, I'll try it out. And I drove the thing, and it was responsive. It had, like I say, a close ratio Muncie gearbox in it. And so he come back, and after he said how much they had to have down, and I had that money, and he said, "I don't know how I'm gonna break it to you," but he said that the payment's going to be about $75 a month. He was so apologetic because of $75 a month for a brand new car. And he said, because out the door, tax and all, that new 66 Chevrolet sold for $3,400. $3,400 for a Chevrolet Caprice with a 427 and all the goodies. And we just laughed about that so many times. About he was concerned that 75 would be a little strain. uh, that was in the 60s. And Man, what a car. What a car. The first weekend I had it, I took it to Seattle SIR, Seattle International Raceway. Took it for a drag. I took it out there and run in mid 11 seconds. It wasn't easy. I'm gonna tell you. When I first run it, I ran 15 seconds in a 427. I go, oh hell, this thing was like a dog. But you couldn't put the traction. It just would spin, and And finally, I learned how to throttle it a little bit to get it off the line, and kind of feather it a little bit through second gear. But third gear, it pulled really strong. Rarely did you ever get up to the fourth gear time you got through the quarter, or maybe you just barely got into it. But um, after we got 12,000 miles on it, I believe it was, we took it to North Seattle, and we had everything changed on the engine. We had the heads changed. We went to L89 aluminum heads. We changed the camshaft and all that stuff, and we used hooker headers on them. And we had an Eskandarian camshaft in it, which Eskandarian made some great cams. This was called RPM 320. What that was saying is the duration of the camshaft was 320 degrees. That means the valves only set on the block for 40 degrees out of the full circle. So it was a radical cam, and it would shake, it would chug and all that kind of stuff. And it was an awesome car. It would make the glass in store windows when you went by, when you'd rumble that exhaust, it would just, I had flow masters on it or whatever it was during that period of time. And it was a great sound. Oh, uh, you just feel free to stay with us as long as you can. I was going to cut you guys. I probably cut you loose at 11 o'clock because I don't want to wear these people out. Most of these people already heard all my stories. Oh, your dad's 84, Big Dan. Well, if I could get my camera around over here, I could show you my discharge on the wall over there, and I'm so proud of it. And I'm also National Guard. Back during them days, when I went in, I couldn't get in the Army because my mother wouldn't sign the papers, but she let me go into the Guard because all I had to do was them weekend things. But I signed up on a special promotion they had for the Alabama National Guard, and so I had to go away for 6 months and do my duty, uh, away from the post there, and yeah, I'm proud of my discharge. Everybody in the old days used to make fun of National Guard, weekend warriors they used to call us. But you seen as you saw when Vietnam rolled around, they quit laughing at the National Guard. No, they really saw that these weekend warriors were good soldiers. Yeah, we back in the days, they Chrysler offered all kinds of incentives to buy their cars, and all kinds of credit deals. And well, I'm still in the military. I still wear the same clothes I wore back in them days. Yeah, if I can get the camera down here, I've got I got cami pants on right now, camouflage pants. Uh, this is comfortable wear to me. I like them because they'll retain a lot of sweat. Not that not going to be doing any sweating here in the winter, but they just good, comfortable clothes to wear for out here in the woods. And I've got a complete outfit over right here in the closet, right behind me over there. I got it over there at Fort. What the hell was the name of that fort? It's in Arkansas. Mm, it's right there by Fort Smith. Fort. But I went over to the base exchange and I got a complete outfit at a good military discount because we were in the military. We was with the military, but we could get into the commissaries and stuff. And I bought a complete outfit, and I still have it. Well, God bless you. Daddy has lived 84 years. You know, usually once you get past 80, there's we don't have any kind of guidelines to go by. It's a daily thing. You, uh, you don't want to live your life like that, but yeah, you don't want a life where you worry about tomorrow because it would drag you down. But um, I've always I've made this statement many times that I only want to stay a living as long as my mind is functioning. I can work within the body limitations. They was still kind of was talking about stealing my car. I had a Plymouth Fury, and it wasn't just your standard everyday stock run of the mill Fury. It had everything Chrysler had to make the thing run. And so I would be off in my truck doing something, and they would steal my car, and I didn't know they was doing this until many years later. They talked about they would wash it and get it all set it up there where didn't look like nobody had ever touched it. Yeah, I was telling them kind of the other day about your about when you had your little motor scooter. Oh, there's the there's the big that's the train quit whistling. Oh man, that's cool. Well, it's good that you got your daddy you can still pal around with, you know? Not everybody is fortunate to have a good daddy, that cures, what I mean? A lot of people spend a lifetime with their dad but never had a dad, you know? And you're fortunate enough you've got a dad. You respect him and you enjoy, doing things with him, and man, that's a really good idea. That's you know, it you're fortunate enough for that to have happened. Well, let me go ahead and get out of here. Been on for 2.5 hours, and I appreciate all you folks coming out and visiting. And look up Old Mac, Rob on the road. Look up Old Mac at Old Mac, one word, Old Mac, and feel free to go through there. I mean, I got videos, over 1,000 of them in there, and mine ain't just little snippets things. Mine is sometimes over an hour long, and mine are long, drawn out affairs. And but go in there, and also there's all kinds of stuff in there. I'm not just a single faceted person. I just do a lot of different things. And you see back way years ago when I was driving that old Freightliner, old freight shaker. Man, I put a lot of miles on that thing. All right, let me say good evening, good night. Thank you, folks. Toga, hoping it's so long before we see you again. Frog, Rob on the road, Robin, Thomas, Toga, Motorbomb, Connie. Trying to see all whoever's still left in here. Frogzilla, God bless you. Be safe, stay warm, and we'll be keeping in touch between now and before this freeze is over with. Make sure everybody is making it through safely, and so we'll say sayonara. Love you.